Tom Vadakkan, at the end of the day, while the Congress may have organizational problems in Tamil Nadu as they have in other parts of the country, at least they have a strong, they have a presence. The fact is the BJP has struggled in Tamil Nadu. You have struggled to break this image of being a Hindustan party when it comes to Tamil Nadu. Yes, you've done reasonably well in other parts of southern India. You've done very well in Karnataka. You made some breakthroughs in Kerala as well. But Tamil Nadu somehow has remained a bridge too far. It appears somehow or the other the people of Tamil Nadu remain suspicious of the Hindutva politics that the BJP is accused of playing over the years. Do you concede that this has been a bridge too far for the BJP? Dravidian culture has not been fully embraced by the BJP.
Rajdeep, while you are showing visuals of my party's president, you'll be surprised the kind of applicants who have applied to join the BJP. Today, there were leaders from the Congress party who have moved out. There's a long list. We are going through their dossiers. We are checking out. There is a rush into our party. How do you explain this? How do you explain the rush of workers, leaders wanting to join our party? If you still claim, I mean, I do accept that there are baby steps, but we are moving forward. There is that light on the end of the tunnel. Yes, we had a dark period, but now things have changed. Now look at this. Look at the somersault of that young former Congress president, Jallikattu, and his mentor, Jairam Ramesh. I was a spokesman then. I want to remind you, Rajdeep, and I remember that day when they all supported. We were tearing our hairs, imagining, look what will happen in Tamil Nadu, because they had no clue. If they want to know anything about Jallikattu, they need to go to the National Museum and have a look at the seals of Indus Valley civilization. There are seals at the National Museum. And this is not a civilization which is 7,000 years old and does not need the defense and the protection of the likes of Mr. Rahul Gandhi. The Tamilians are a proud citizenry of our country.
Like you are accusing Jairam, you are accusing the Congress of a U-turn on Jallikattu. You also, of course, have made a U-turn of U-turns. You've gone also, with all due regard, from the Congress to the BJP.
But I'm putting it on record. I have the nerve to say that on record.
Sure. I'm glad that you are saying it on record that at one stage you were with the Congress on Jallikattu.
Now you're with the... I have no denial about that, but I'm telling you what happened.
Okay. I'm glad you're saying that.
Exactly what happened on Jallikattu. Okay. And 2016 manifesto, you're right. You're right about it. She's talking about the Chennai edition of their manifesto.
Can I bring in Manu Sundaram? Manu Sundaram, the fact is parties like the DMK, for you also this is seen as your last chance in a way. The AIDMK has won 2 elections in a row. You lose this one. And then the DMK finds itself in a situation where once again the party's survival will be under question. Do you accept therefore that this is also a make or break election for the DMK?
Well, I must point out though, Mr. Sardesai, that it was said pretty much these similar words were used, or we heard similar words being spoken before the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. And to be fair, the DMK Congress did rather well. And that is when Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah swept across much of the rest of India. Before I point out a couple of other issues, let me also just maybe make a mild protest that I think you've been a little unfair. I think for every time you've played Mr. Jairam Ramesh's video, you must also go and play, if you can, Ms. Maneka Gandhi's video in 2017, where she also makes very uncharitable remarks about Jallikattu. And also the fact that, Mr. Rahul Gandhi today is a member of parliament from a constituency in Kerala. So you cannot sort of ascribe to him the kind of political expectations that you would of a minister or a prime minister or home minister of the country. And finally, the Congress, to be fair, won 9 parliamentary seats in 2019. So I don't think it's a fair assessment that they do not have much of a grassroots network here in Tamil Nadu. But
So
let me just make one other point, Mr. Sardesai.
How many seats will you give the Congress? Let's be honest. If you think the Congress is
as many as we both are happy to share and mutually agree to defeat the ADMK and rout out any remnants of the BJP in Tamil Nadu. But let me make just one other point. The Tamils, like I said, are self-respecting people. It is not only that the Hindutva brand of politics that we are against. We are for federal autonomy. We are for greater federal rights. And therefore, that is why we are unhappy and we are sick of the policy flip-flopping of the ADMK. We are tired of taking orders, the Tamil Nadu government taking orders from its Delhi masters and having these policies made by remote control. Therefore, the DMK Congress, I believe, will put together a cogent alternative policy platform which will provide steady and stable governance to take Tamil Nadu out of the very tricky corona post-COVID-19 waters that we are in. Therefore, it doesn't matter the number of seats. I think we will emerge successfully because that's what we did almost a year and a half ago in 2019 as well.